All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, 𝗁, and as always, we're going to be diving into the crypto gaming landscape and not so much into the markets today, and we've been making some absolutely fire calls. If you've gotten in on HXD this last week when we called it out, you're absolutely printing. But today we're going to go over the top crypto gaming tokens heading into 2024. My ultimate tier list here. So there's so many. I think we're going over 55 tokens today, guys. So strap in, get your popcorn, get your notepad out. We're going to go over all these tokens in a rapid fire session and rank them from S to D. So without further ado, let's get in the game. And as always, guys, like the video down below and subscribe for more every single day and week here on In the Game, the biggest sole crypto gaming channel on YouTube as well. Shout out to our sponsors. Our sponsors are absolutely killer here on In the Game. We have Seedify, Amino Rewards, Vulcan Forged, Ultra, Redato, Dreams Quest, XCAD Network. We have Organia and we have Owned GG. I mean, we have so many sponsors here, so many high caliber projects as well. So check them all out in the link down below in the description as well. All of our exchange partners, if you're looking for somewhere to trade, are also in the description. So without further ado, let's jump into it. And like I said, today's not about the markets. Today's not about what to buy today. I'm going to be ranking from S tier down to D tier this entire token list. Now, I'm going to just preface this by saying this is a bunch of tokens that I like. Like honestly, there's only a few on this list that I'm like, okay, I'm passing on completely. All right. So I want to get that out of the way. If I rank your favorite project in B and there's projects above it in S, that does not necessarily mean that I dislike your favorite bag. Okay. So I want to get that disclosure out there because, you know, this is a high conviction list here. So it's going to be very hard for me to rank some of these things. So that's the TLDR on that. But let's dive into it and let's just kind of, you know, full disclosure, jump into this thing. And the start is 𝗂𝗏𝗂 𝗍. So I know 𝗂𝗏𝗂's doing a lot with gaming, but this just isn't on my radar. Like, and I get that meme coin craze is going on right now, but I'm going to just be honest. This will start the D tier for me. And this is going to set the standard. Like, I just don't see 𝗂𝗏𝗂 as this huge gaming project as some of these others are. And I just feel like 90% of the projects on this list belong higher than 𝗂𝗏𝗂. So that's how we're going to start it off here. We also have 𝗡𝗂coin. So 𝗡𝗂coin, oh, goodness. This one's tough because people love the Bored Ape ecosystem. They're really banking on Yuga. But if you look at the price action on that thing, it has just never played out. And I know they launched at peak euphoria. They did the big airdrop. It was $15. I'm just not too bullish on Ape at this point in time. And I have to say, like, if I put it anything over D, I'd be lying. I'm going to be real. Like, I just don't see 𝗡𝗂coin as the future of gaming. I might be wrong. Yuga might prove me wrong, but the games that they've come out with so far are just lackluster. And the other side metaverse will need to be a huge hit if it's going to climb up this list in any sort of fashion. The third token here is 𝗨𝗨𝗧𝗏. 𝗨𝗨𝗧𝗏 is a game on Solana. They have a huge war chest to build with, but that does not also equal me being super bullish on the token. I will say, I think it's, like, genuinely speaking, from an investment perspective, from what you're going to get from it in the gains category, I think that 𝗨𝗨𝗧𝗏 does have a lot of potential here. So to be frank with you, I'm going to start this off in the C category. I think Solana Gaming is picking up very much. I think that this team has been relentless during the bear market, and I like 𝗨𝗨𝗧𝗏 as a low market cap play. The fourth token here is 𝗥𝗍 Infinity. Oh, goodness. I'm going to piss some people off with this one. 𝗥𝗍's been climbing in the last few weeks. Don't get me wrong. Like, 𝗥𝗍's been kind of crushing it on the price action. This is just not in my investment scope this cycle. And like, there's one play on here that's very closely associated with 𝗥𝗍 Infinity that I'm going to deem much higher than this. But okay, due to the sentiment of the entire platform that 𝗏𝗏 has built and the player counts and it being an OG in the gaming space, like, people will always know what 𝗥𝗍 is. I'll put it in C. I'll put it above 𝗨𝗨𝗧𝗏. If I put it in D, that would be unfair for this list, to be completely honest with you. We are talking about tokens specifically. And I think last cycle people, the retail, when they come through the door and they see the names Gala, 𝗏𝗏 Infinity, Illuviums, they're going to flock to those projects because they didn't keep up with everything in the space. They don't know the new hot game. So 𝗏𝗏 Infinity, I think, has that going for it. Fifth token here on the list is Beam. We love Beam here. I think that Beam is a top caliber project. I think that a lot of people sleep on the fact that they have a lot of games coming to build on their network that haven't been announced yet. They have $100 million to build with. They've bridged the token over successfully from 𝗪𝘳𝗀. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's just 𝗪𝘳𝗀 reincarnated. This is a completely different business model. And I'm going to be real. I'm going to start it off. They're going to be an S tier token for me. I think that they're right up there with IMX, with the fact that I think if you invest, it's a low downside, high upside token. I see this being a multi-billion dollar, maybe even close to that $10 billion market cap in the full-blown bull. And I think that it is an S tier caliber project. I think that no doubt about it, that is where it lands. The sixth token here on our list is 𝗏𝗃𝗃. This one's tough. Like, look, I love 𝗏𝗃𝗃. I love the game. But eventually those token unlocks are going to come into play, okay? And there's a lot of uncirculating supply there. Now, this is much better than 𝗏𝗏𝗃 on the game perspective. From an investment perspective, it's going to be dicey because of the token unlocks. Now, it's going to get a lot of hype. If we go into a full-blown bull run, retail does not give a crap about, what the circulating tokenomics are, etc. So for these reasons, for the quality of the game, we'll kick this one off. We're going to start it in B tier. I think 𝗏𝗃𝗃 has a future behind it. The only scary thing is the token unlocks. But here's the thing. In a bull run, in a full-blown next cycle, blow-off top bull market, the retail people do not care. They don't even know what a token unlock is. They don't know the difference. So, it's not that we're trying to, the investors here now, you have the edge. Like, you're not picking on these people. But the reason I'm saying this is it's on the B tier because I think that most people won't even look at that as a factor whenever it comes to the next cycle. And 𝗏𝗃𝗃 is one of those great RPG, MMO, open world type of games. So we'll start off the B tier with 𝗏𝗃𝗃. So you can kind of see we're setting a standard here with this tier list as far as what's going to fall in what category. Next token up here on the list is 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗃. I love what this team's doing. The 𝗏𝗃𝗃 token is very high on my list, and I think it does belong right here. For now, I'm going to put it, for investment perspective, it might be a better upside play than 𝗏𝗃𝗃. To be completely honest with you, it's just very hard. We need to see more of the entire game of 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗃 to make that assessment. I'm going to put it in the B tier right behind 𝗏𝗃𝗃. And I think that that's a great place for this project to land, in my opinion. And here we go. Decentraland. Oh, I hate to do it to Decentraland, but they're definitely going, honestly, behind 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃. I think 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃 has more of a narrative than Decentraland. Nobody plays Decentraland unless you're playing Decentral games, their poker game. I just don't there has been no improvements. They have done nothing. At least Sandbox has collaborations and big people coming to build in the Sandbox. Like Decentraland, you can miss me with Decentraland in this cycle. And I hope there's no Maxis in the chat that are gonna crush me about it. But hey, you know what? This one just can't eclipse anything higher than the D tier, in my opinion. DIO, Decimated. This one's been rocketing in the recent times. It's on Solana as well. Pretty low market cap. I think that whenever this game comes out, it's going to shock a lot of people. I think it's very high caliber. I'm going to put it in the B tier as well. I'm going to put it in the B tier here, right alongside 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃 and 𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃 for now. Obviously, throughout this ranking, you see how many tokens are left. This will change, but at this point in time, that's where I'm going to put it. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Online. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Online, this one, they've been crushing, and the game looks fantastic. This is ex-RuneScape devs, and it's truly ex-RuneScape devs. Some projects, they fabricate things quite a bit with who worked on what in the past, but 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Online has been absolutely rocketing. It's on the Avalanche chain. I think that I'm going to put this one, oh goodness, this is tough. I'm going to put 𝗏𝗵 right here. I'm going to go above decimated, but I am going to go right under 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗃 and big time, which I don't think is unfair right now. And this could all change. This is just heading into 2024. And this is my opinion. Like, you can have a different opinion, but I like 𝗏𝗵. I think it still has a lot to go in the future. Low market cap on Avalanche. It has everything that you want from a token and as far as 𝗏𝗵 goes. All right, Echelon Prime. This is another one that's elite. I think that this is an elite token. I think that their tokenomics are spot on. I think with the parallel trading card game, they just won Game of the Year. They like swept the awards at the Game Awards this year. And on top of that, they're coming out with an AI project that's going to intersect gaming and AI. I think this has all the makings to be a top tier token. And I'm going to set the standard. I'm going to, oh gosh, it's an S tier token to me. Echelon Prime has shown nothing but top tier to this point. And whenever that AI narrative bakes into it, they have a unique avenue for growth. I completely see Prime. I called it at $2 something back, and it's like almost $10 now. And what I said at that time is this token has the makings to do an 𝗥𝗍 Infinity style run. They have the budget, they have the marketing, they have the game to back it up, and then they have more experiences being built behind the Prime token. Prime is definitely an S tier token. Because Beam is a full-blown platform, I'm going to put it ahead of Prime, but Echelon Prime definitely cracks that S tier. Engine, oh gosh, I'll upset some people here too. Engine is going to go to my D tier, right above Decentraland, but under 𝗏𝗏𝗃. Unfortunately, Engine, like I've said this on shows in the past, but I've never spoke with a game that said they're using Engine, building with Engine. And that's not a shot at them, but like I have never, ever, ever heard that in my entire life. I've been in this industry for some years. Okay. Like I'm just telling you, I've never heard that people are using it. And that's a problem to me. I'm not going to call it vaporware, but if there's no usage on it, there's no network effect. I can't back that. You know, that's just not in my investment scope at the moment in time. All right. 𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏 is a tricky one. I think they've gone through some turmoil. I think that the lawsuit really brought the conviction down of a lot of people. Even the node owners from the initial cycle that made out like bandits, they even tell me that their conviction in 𝗏𝗏 has lowered quite drastically over this time period. But I can't tell you that 𝗏𝗏 is a bad investment. Like, I genuinely think 𝗏𝗏 will do gains in the next cycle. I genuinely think it's better than an 𝗥𝗍 as far as tokens go. I think it's better than 𝗏𝗏𝗃, 𝗏𝗃, 𝗏𝗏𝗃, Engine, Decentraland. I have trouble putting it like, I have trouble putting it anywhere lower than B personally. And I'm going to put it behind 𝗏𝗏𝗃 and above decimated. Now, decimated could do more gains. 𝗏𝗏 has more credibility behind it. The common investor knows what 𝗏𝗏 is, whereas a decimated, they're going to have to go run and find out. Now, that doesn't, I'm not saying they all know what big time or 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗄 or 𝗏𝗏𝗃 is, but I think that all those tokens have probably higher upside to them than 𝗏𝗏. And that's not me fading 𝗏𝗏. It's in the B tier. It's above a lot of good projects here. So, you know, personally speaking, like that's where I'm going to set it. It has fallen down my conviction list, and I just think there's tokens that are going to do much better gains in my honest opinion. Now we're going to get into some of those tokens. 𝗔𝗏𝗏, Games for a Living. They have an awesome team, lower market cap project. The fully diluted's a little high, but the token unlocks don't really do much to the price at this point in time. 𝗔𝗏𝗏, in my opinion, I don't know if I'm going to christen the A tier with this right now. I'm going to be real. I'm going to put 𝗔𝗏𝗏 at the top of B. I'm going to do it at the top of B. I think that that's the right place for this. It has been slow moving in the recent months, but before that, it was absolutely crushing it. And, you know, like once I arrange this tier list, I might move a couple around. But for now, I'm going to put it at the beginning of the B tier. Now we're looking at GameSwift. So GameSwift, they've been absolutely killing it recently. They're hitting new all-time highs consistently. There's no token unlocks for a few more months. You're going to have to buy for the nodes. You have to hold a certain amount to be able to be a node owner in this ecosystem. It's tough for me because like when I'm looking across the board at stuff I know will be A tier, I don't know that it's going to fall in my A tier. I think for now, like I said, subject to change. I'm going to put this. Oh gosh. Honestly, this could be an A tier token. I'm going to go A tier for 𝗔𝗠𝗏. I know you guys in the chat, you guys have all gotten in at 5 cents when we brought it to you. You got in at 10, 20, and that's skyrocketed at this point. And the gains that it has provided so far, and then it could do in a bear market, I think it trumps a lot of other tokens on the list. I will set the precedent with A tier with 𝗔𝗠𝗏, and then if I start filling up I'll go down to B. But for now, we're going to keep it there. Gods Unchained, great project, great ecosystem. They're Immutables' flagship title as far as users go at this point in time. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go at the last part of C tier here. I don't think Gods is a change your life investment heading into the next cycle, but I think it's a steady project. I think that their user base is there to stay. People love the game. They love that specific ecosystem. And I think Gods isn't dead. Like I'm not going to view it in the Decentraland lights, right? I think Gods has a future for sure. Guild of Guardians, kind of the same. Guild of Guardians, once it goes live, I think this has a lot of potential. There's something to be said about the amount of players that played it, but we don't know if that's an authentic user count. And that's on the whole industry. When people tell us how many users they have, how do we even know they're being legit? Like, what are they tracking it by? There could be bots. There could be this. There could be that. Not saying that they did it, but it's just hard to trust a lot of projects on user counts. I'm going to go behind Gods because it's not a live product yet, but that brings in more speculation. We all know speculation brings investment dollars. So tough to say. I'll put Guild of Guardians at the end of the C tier there. Illuvium. Illuvium, as far as an investment, like I don't think it's change your life type of gains if you buy today and the amount of X's that it's going to do. But to say that it's anything less than an A tier token is foolish, in my opinion. Like, I genuinely think Illuvium by far deserves an A tier spot, so we're going to put them there. For now, it just depends. Like, are we talking quality of complete project, or are we talking gain, level of conviction here? Like, I think 𝗔𝗠𝗏 could do more X's. I think Illuvium might be just a better project overall, right? So I think that's where the tricky part comes in here. But like, would Illuvium crack my top 10 gaming tokens heading into 24? I genuinely don't think so. Like, actually. So I'm going to put it behind 𝗔𝗠𝗏 for now, because there are 10 tokens in my mind that are above Illuvium for my investment perspective. And that's just the way I'm viewing it at this point in time. Superverse is one of those. When I speak with 𝗬𝗂, look, I'm just going to tell you this. A lot of people in the comments, the most common thing I ever see is 𝗬𝗂's a scammer. He never delivers this and that. Couldn't be further from the truth. 𝗬𝗂 knows these markets. 𝗬𝗂 knows consumer habits. 𝗬𝗂 knows exactly when to roll things out. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Once he releases these next updates heading into January, like, I think you're really going to turn your head towards why Superverse is moving how it is. I'm putting it at the top of the A tier, without a doubt. And Superverse to me is a top 10 gaming token heading into 2024 based on what I know. So I'm just going to leave it there, and we'll keep it rolling. 𝗵𝗎𝗓𝒽. This one's going to be quick. I think 𝗵𝗎𝗓𝒽 right now will assert themselves eventually as the top gaming chain. I think that the users will be flocking in once we have more games live on the platform. And I think IMX is a blue chip gaming token. Like, if you're just an investor, right? You want to have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, Solana, Caspa, Rollbit. Like, you have all these different narratives. If you're going to bank on just a couple of gaming tokens, IMX is one of them. Without a doubt, 10 out of 10, it's in your portfolio. So I think that IMX is definitely a surefire winner. DeFi Kingdoms, this one's tough. DeFi Kingdoms could make a heck of a comeback. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to put it above Gods and below Aurori. I think, like, Jewel has a narrative. The DeFi gaming community is always going to be there. The people who want to make yield, for example, and they're still building. They're relentless as far as building out the product, but it'll be lower on my investment scope. Like I can honestly say anything above it, I probably have more confidence in growth rather than Jewel. Now, I like DeFi Kingdoms. I honestly still have stuff staked there from a long time ago. It's quite down, you know what I mean? It's quite down, but at the same time, I got some heroes. I'm staked in some of the LP pools. Like I'm a part of the ecosystem. I got a lot of locked tokens, and as far as their different subnets and stuff like that. So, I participate in the ecosystem. But as far as investment scope, I think anything above it probably has more potential, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. Compete. Now, this is a sleeper right here. I'm putting Compete right here above Gala, genuinely, because I think this can do more X's than Gala. And I think the game, go play it. Like if you're out there right now, go play this game. It is fantastic. Compete is actually so fun. It's well built out. I have to say, like, it's one of the most polished games in Web3. The only reason it's so low on the list, on this list specifically, low, it's behind great projects. Like, don't get me wrong. The reason it's lower on the list is the attention on it. No one knows about this token right now. Like, and I think Compete, it can climb its way up the ranks because it's I said it on a Twitter space today with one of our sponsors, Seedify. Like, we live in an attention economy. Whoever has the attention has the narrative. They have the ball in their court. And the attention's not on Compete yet, but once it moves to them, I think that they're going to have a heck of a run, to be completely honest. Magic, Arbitrum, the network, we're going to have an Arbitrum season again. And I think that Magic will be a big catalyst for that. I still have conviction that this is a very solid project. And I think that you're going to see this make a pretty strong comeback. What I will do here, oh, goodness. This one's tough, genuinely, because I like what they're doing. But then when I look across the board, I do think that there's maybe better upside investments. But like I said, when Arbitrum comes back in full force, this thing's gonna do really well. Oh, goodness. For the sake of investment potential, I'm going to, oh, goodness. I'm going to put it next to Gala, right above Gala, because I genuinely think that Magic, like, they're a niche within a niche, but I think that helps them. The Magic token is harder to buy. It's on the Arbitrum network. Once that narrative kicks back up again, I think it's going to have a rapid increase. And I'm not crapping on Gala. Like, I like Gala, don't get me wrong. But as far as my conviction heading into 2024, this is just where things are shaping up at this moment in time. 𝗪𝘳𝗀𝗃, I'm going to move this to the bottom. There's a few that we're not going to rank here on this list because it was a pre-curated list that I added some tokens to. 𝗪𝘳𝗃 is Beam. It's the same project. So right now they would be S tier where Beam is. So like, I'm not going to rank it because they're basically the same project. Okay. Myria. I have so much conviction in what Myria is doing. They've been absolutely crushing it during this like short little bull run we've had for gaming tokens. They're hitting new all-time highs consistently, and they're floating around that new all-time high. The crazy thing is Myria was underwater for so long, and now anyone who bought during the bear market is in profit. Like, it's pretty magical. There's no underwater investors from that entire 6-month time period where the price decreased. So for me, I'm going to put Myria above G-Swift and right below Super. That's where I'm going to rank it right now in the A tier. So that's kind of my thoughts at the moment in time. Katana Inu, the B tier is going to fill up pretty quickly here because I have way more conviction in Kata than I do a lot of these tokens in the C tier. I am going to place Kata above. See, it has a lot of narratives going for it. I'm going to put it above Decimated, right behind Gala. I think that once more awareness, like kind of like Compete, once more awareness comes to the token, this thing could have a huge run. The product looks fantastic. The team, the partnerships, they're doing a lot of things right. So that's kind of where my head is at this moment in time. Nakamoto Games, tricky one. This community is so passionate. I have to accredit them for that. Like, They speak their minds. They will let you know if you don't put them on a list that they're coming for your head in the comment section. Okay. And like, I get it. Like, people really love their favorite tokens. Okay. But at the same time, I just, yeah, like, I don't care if I cause the picket fences. Like, I don't know that 𝗏𝗂 is going to crack my top 10. Like, all right, here's what I'm going to say. For now, the narrative is above G-Swift. The gains it just did in this bear market, exponential, right? But genuinely speaking, the products just aren't that great. And that's just full disclosure. Like, for token perspective, this thing probably deserves to be in the A tier, no doubt about it. But if you do a little bit of digging, you could stir up some stuff that might not be too bullish. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. PGX, PGX at this moment in time, how does it go anywhere other than the bottom of the list? I mean, come on, Pegaxi, we've been through the horse stables with this one. All right, I've done my races, I've paid my dues. All right, and I'm not going back to the stable. So there is another horse racing project here that I think ranks way higher than this at this moment in time. So we'll get around to that. 𝗧𝗏𝗄𝗋 Games, one of my favorite projects in the space at this moment in time. I think that the Nexus project that they're building, Nexus is their game on Epic Games. It's now play to earn. They have a lot of matches, a lot of players. Their node ecosystem is thriving. They have a huge war chest to build with. Personally speaking, I'm putting it right here alongside Superverse Myria. This is, I think, Playable Games has another 10x in it in the bull. I really do. I think that this could be one of the biggest gainers. And for those that got in with me here on In the Game, that would give us that oh so sweet 75 to 100x. Like, we're already up like 8x on this at the moment in time. So yeah, I think we have a lot in store for the Playable Games token. PlayZap. This one's interesting. I know that there's a lot of people that like this project. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of PZP. Could it prove me wrong? Could people get gains off of it? Abso-freaking-lutely. I'm going to put it behind DeFi Kingdoms and above Gods Unchained. That's just my opinion at the moment in time. Polygon, as far as like it's interesting that this is on the list here, because unlike IMX and Beam, like, Polygon is more of an all-around blockchain. And if you're looking for just exposure to gaming, I think IMX far trumps what you can get out of a Polygon, for example. For these reasons, and for the reputation they have, I'll put it in the B tier at the top. Okay, I'll put it at the top of the B. Now, that being said, this is not a gaming-specific project, and I think that if you look around the space, you can find better gaming investments. That's just my opinion. Honeyland, HXD. So we gave this one to you guys last week at like 6 cents. I haven't checked the price today, but it got up to 19 cents. So shout out to anyone who got in there. Mobile game on Solana. I think that they're absolutely crushing. And I'm going to be honest, with everything I know that they're building, this could be Solana's biggest gainer as far as gaming in the entire ecosystem. It is just a single game. And if you notice, there's only 2 single games at the top tier here. What I'm going to say, I'm going to be real. I think that HXD, I'm going to put it in the 8. I think it's an A tier token, guys. I really do. Like, go play the game. It's a simple experience. It doesn't take that much time. You can earn HXD. There's so many sinks in the game. People are spending the tokens. There's an in-game marketplace. They're collaborated with Magic Eden to literally have NFT transactions right on the app. This one's going to go in my A tier. I'll put it behind Illuvium for reputation perspective, for what Illuvium has done at this point. But I think what Corey and the guys over at Honeyland are doing, it's pretty special. It's on the Sol blockchain. We all know the narrative that's been stirring up. So that's my opinion currently. Ronin. Ronin is an S tier project. There's no doubt about it. If I was to give it anything less than an S, it would be foolish. Yeah, I'm going to put it above Echelon just because it is a platform. Like I said, Sky Mavis, they're doing so many good things in the space. It's hard to fade what they're doing. So I'm going to do that. IMX, Beam, Ronin, and Prime are the S tier projects at this moment in time. 𝗬𝗓𝗓. 𝗬𝗓𝗓, I think rightfully is going to assert themselves at the top of my top of my B tier. I speak with the team a ton here at 𝗬𝗓𝗓, and what they're doing behind the scenes is fantastic. They've partnered up with so many different games, and the market cap is like low enough to have huge gains heading into the next cycle. I think we could see a new all-time high put in by 𝗬𝗓𝗓 personally. They're listing on lots of exchanges at the moment in time, but this is how I'm going to set the standard of the list. Like, the beginning project on each of these, I genuinely think have so much potential, but this is how I'm seeing it shape up. And you have to play in the comparison perspective. Like, this is just where I'm seeing it. I think 𝗬𝗓𝗓 can do some of the biggest gains. You know, Becker loves this project. There's a lot of people out there that love 𝗬𝗓𝗓. This puts it like right outside my top 10, but that's just how it is right now. And I think that they have so much potential heading into the future. Photo finish game, 𝗏𝗏. I think 𝗏𝗏 is just like HXD, one of the best Solana games out there. I think that the market cap where it's at right now maybe provides not as much upside. Now, horse racing games, they're partnered up with the Kentucky Derby and NBC. Like, I see this being much bigger than a D race or anything like that. For now, I'm going to, for my personal list here, I'm going to go right behind 𝗬𝗓𝗓 and right above Polygon. I think 𝗏𝗏 has a hell of a future in front of it, but this is just kind of my personal conviction here, and this is kind of the way that my investment scope is shaping out at the moment. Sandbox, once again, hate to do it. They're going in the D at the beginning. I just don't see sandboxes. That's not the future of games. That's not the future of metaverses. I am sorry to burst your bubble, but it is just not, okay? That's just how it is. I'm going to leave it there. Seedify. Seedify is an S tier token. No doubt about it. I'm going to put it right behind Echelon Prime. And you know, people will always, it's ironic that they're at the top right of the screen right now, okay? That is a coincidence, but they are a sponsor of the show because of the conviction I have showed them throughout every single time period. If you go back to the depths of the bear, they were not a sponsor. And I was telling you that 50, 60 cent Seedify was a investment that literally could 10x from there. And it's already done a 7x. So I think we're going to see a little bit higher than that. I think this will be $1 billion project. I think Seedify, low downside, high upside. They have so many launches in the pipeline. That's where I see it right now. It's an S tier token without a doubt. Shrapnel, tough. Like, Shrapnel, the token unlocks come April could really cause some trouble if the bull market isn't like in full effect. And we're probably going to see a post-halving dip, typically is what happens, okay? So, oh goodness. My conviction in Shrapnel, the game, would be S tier, okay? My conviction, if we hit a little bit of a rough patch in the market, and some of these tokens start getting unlocked in the game, could be a little different, okay? I think for my rankings perspective, I am going to... this is tough. I think for narrative perspective and what it can do in the short term, specifically heading into 2024 with the early game launch, I think that Shrapnel can cook really hard, okay? So I'm going to put it right above Illuvium and HXD, but below stuff like Bull, Naka, Myria. I think that those projects just have their foundation really in place, and the tokenomics are a lot healthier than what could come from Shrapnel. That's just my opinion. 𝗏𝗏 Games. This is an interesting one. This is one I see in the comments all the time. I know some of their games on their platform. Meadowlands, Citizen Finance from the last cycle went from $60 to like 400, back down. Like, we were in on this project at that time. They've rebranded into a studio token here, 𝗏𝗏 Games, and they have about 5 or 6 games here. Low market cap. I think it has a lot of potential, to be completely honest with you. I'm going to put it at the end of the B tier. I think it has more potential for upside than something like an 𝗥𝗓𝗏, but I don't see it as better quality than anything that's above it on this list. So that's just my opinion. Unix. Unix finds its way onto the list because they're really making some noise. Today, they partnered up with AVAX. I'm in touch with their founder. Owned is one of their brands. They're one of the sponsors here. I think that this really could surprise some people, like genuinely could do crazy gains based on where the market cap is. I'm going to go for now. I'm going to go in the B tier here. Kind of below the Galas and the Magics, but above the stuff here. Like, I think Unix, as far as upside potential, could absolutely crush it. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing at this moment in time. Dubs, here we go. This one's A tier to me. Now, Dubs, fully diluted. There's no tokens to be unlocked. This one has nothing but upside ahead of it, in my honest opinion. It has GameFi and GambleFi. It's esports wagering. This is an A tier project. I'm going to put it right below Bull and right above Naka as far as my conviction level. I think that that's appropriate at this moment in time. Same with 𝗬𝗏. I think 𝗬𝗏 is, to be honest, like 𝗬𝗏 is probably A tier, no doubt about it. Like I'm gonna put it right behind Illuvium, right above HXD. I think that that's a fair assessment where this thing kind of falls. The good thing is the social sentiment behind the 𝗬𝗏 token much higher than even Illuvium or Shrapnel or Big Time or anything really on the list. 𝗬𝗏 has so much social traction that it's hard to fade. So that's where I see it. I like the Senate token better, but 𝗬𝗏 was the one on the list. Honestly, Senate might climb its way up closer to the Naka area, but for now, as far as the in-game currency, I'm going to put 𝗬𝗏 at the end of that A tier, and I think that that's a rightful place for it. Sinverse comments in the... Okay, I'm going to... 1 second. Whoever in the Discord over there sends 1,000 comments to my YouTube videos, great stuff, but sin, great stuff. Like, the amount of Sinverse comments are crazy on these videos, okay? So first and foremost, you comment keyboard warriors or whoever's sending people to my comments about this project. Chill out a little bit, okay? I know about the project. I know it's pretty solid. And I'm going to put it above Gods Unchained. It's a C tier, in my opinion. It's not going to trump anything above this, in my honest opinion. Like, you can have your opinion. I'm sure the Sen community is going to come to the comments because they're in every video. If you go back after this video, check the comments. You'll see them. But yeah, that's where I'm going to put it for now. Wilder World, this is tough because they have such a good game. I played it at Art Basel here in Miami last month, and I loved it. And it was just one facet of the game. The problem is the sentiment around the token. People think it's a metaverse, and they don't think it's a game. For those reasons, I'm going to have to put it in the B tier. I think that it definitely belongs here. I'm going to put it... The thing is social sentiment-wise, like Decimated has more like token sentiment. So I'm going to put it behind Decimated, but above Mora Games on this list. And if this was a metaverse list, it's in the S tier. No doubt about it. I think it's an S tier metaverse project. SLP, come on. Even lower conviction than PGX. Like, Pegaxi is rebranding, and they're going over to the Avalanche chain for a hope for revival. So good luck to them. But SLP is the common Ponzi currency. Like, unlimited supply. It's just earnings. If you're investing in SLP for gains, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm going to put that at the very end of the list here. Splinterlands, another one that really tricky. Splinterlands, historically, they're a great game, great project. My concern with this, if you look at the chart of the SPS token, the Splinterlands ecosystem token, during the gaming bull, it just went down. The 2021 gaming bull, the full-blown bull market, it decreased during that time period. That doesn't give me a lot of hope personally. But I do think it has more upside maybe than an engine. Like, I'm going to put it down here. Now, Splinterlands, fantastic game. They have a lot of users. I love the team over there. But as an investment, I just can't talk. I can't get myself over the line to think it's anything above the D tier at the moment in time. Atlas. I think Atlas falls probably above Polygon, below Crown and Altura, and anything else above it. Now, once again, if this was the Polis token, the ecosystem governance token, it might climb its way up the list a little bit. I think that there's smaller market cap stuff out there on Solana, like Crown, like HXD, for example, those two projects in particular. I think they have more upside. I think Decimated might have more investment upside, even, and it's below it on the list. But reputation speaks a lot. Star Atlas has a huge reputation in the space. They are still by means like the flagship Solana game that everyone knows. And I think that there's some weight to that personally. So I'm going to put it here in the B tier. 𝗓𝗏. 𝗓𝗏, I'm going to put below. Okay, honestly, like it's got more sentiment than Decentraland does. I'm gonna be real with you right now. It's got more sentiment than Engine does. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna put it here. It's definitely not dead last. All right, like there's still people using this app every single day, and like okay, cool. But as an investment, it's definitely not cracking my portfolio. I tell you that. 𝗓𝗏 Arena, same thing. Like I actually don't see the sentiment even as low as some of the other. I'm gonna put 𝗓𝗏 ahead of SPS, 𝗓𝗏, Engine, Decentraland. They're kind of cooking in the background. Like they're doing 𝗓𝗏 Rivals. The game still, there's still players. There's an esports scene within there. Like there is something to be said about the game. Now I know a lot of people hated the economics and stuff like that, but like I think it's just better than the things below it, personally. And like there's still a community there if you dive into it, but once again, it's not in my portfolio, so take it for how you will. 𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏 is an interesting one. I love what they're doing. They have the tradable games now on the platform. They're about to come out with their first-person shooter, and I genuinely think that first-person shooter looks amazing, okay? 𝗏𝗏, it hasn't moved as much during this market, but I think you have to take that with a grain of salt. It's an attention economy. Now that they got that game and they're going to be teasing it a lot more, the only way to get investment into that game that they're building, into their platform, is the 𝗏𝗏 token. So for me, oh goodness, this is tough. For me, I'm going to put the 𝗏𝗏 token probably, it's going to be around here somewhere. 𝗏𝗏. Ooh. See, for like upside perspective, some of these just have lower market caps and they can probably do more gains. And that's where I have trouble ranking some stuff like this. And I love the 𝗏𝗏 platform. If this was a business tier list, they'd be up here. It's just so tough. Okay, honestly, though, the tokenomics are healthier than a lot of the shrapnels or Loot. I'm going to put it here. Right below GameSwift as far as token, but above a few of the things where I think tokenomics might have a little bit more of a factor in the growth of the project. I think 𝗏𝗏 has a little more route towards organic growth, in my opinion. Vulcan Forge, one of my favorite projects. You guys all know this. We were DCAing heavily between that $2.70 and $3 mark. This is going to assert itself right behind Dubs and right above 𝗏𝗏 for me. Like, and at this point, that would crack my top 10. Like, I think this is a top 10 project in my scope, and that's kind of what I'm looking at heading into 2024 at this point. 𝗏𝗏 Games. I mean, this one has so much upside behind it. They just went into their soft launch. Shout out to them. They've been building this thing out for so long. I'm gonna put it in the A tier. So the thing is the social sentiment behind 𝗏𝗏 and HXD and kind of what is going on. It's a lot in their favor. Shrap has a lot of the attention. I'm going to put it in the A tier, though. Like, I genuinely do think that 𝗏𝗏 is going to crush it heading into the bull. Now, there's something to be said here, whether it should be A or should it be the beginning of the B tier. Now, that's something that it's going back and forth in my mind here, very much so. Tough. I'm going to set a precedent that it's going to start the B tier. And people know I love 𝗏𝗏 Games here, no doubt about it. But I'm going to set the precedent that that's kind of like the beginning of that tier. And I say that because of this, like the social sentiment. That's the only thing. Like, I love the product. I love the team. I love everything they've done. We got in so cheap. It's like 3.5, 4x above our entry. So I love 𝗏𝗏. I just I wonder the attention economy that the market flows in. I think a lot of the stuff above it has the attention in its court, but WAGMI could get that attention back. That's for sure. Wax. Look, Wax is great and all, but it's the top of the D. It's a D tier. Like, who knows if their users are even real, for Christ's sakes? Like, they have a lot of partnerships. They have huge daily active numbers with stuff like Alien Worlds and Splinterlands. But I just, there is no way that some of those numbers are accurate, in my opinion. There's only 2 more that we're ranking today. So Mega Weapon, straightforward. I'm gonna put it above 𝗧𝗧, below DeFi Kingdoms. I think Mega Weapon has a lot of upside, but the notoriety behind it is low at this point. So it's questionable to see where that's going to head in the future. Oasis. Oasis is the Ubisoft blockchain. This is interesting. I think that this one is very under the radar. And yeah, like, the tokenomics aren't too friendly. I'm going to put it at the top of the C tier, though. I think Oasis is a sleeper. I think that if you don't know about it, go check it out. I don't even have a bag of it yet, but it's definitely like an interesting project, and it's something that I'm looking ahead to in 2024 when the tokenomics kind of clear up a bit and Ubisoft has some of their games live. So this is how the tier list shakes up. Now, look, if I'm going to reassess a couple things here, I'd probably move Altura to the A, and I think that's it. Like, I'm very happy with the way that my list shaped out. If you're looking at the top 10 tokens for me at this moment in time, like, I think they're pretty solid. IMX, Beam, Ronin, Prime, S-Fund, Super, Myria, Bull, Dubs, and PYR. Like, I think that anyone who watches this show would know that that's pretty much, you know, my favorite projects and my top conviction projects in the space. Right outside that top 10 with Naka, G Swift, Ultra, Shrapnel, Illuvium, Sidus, HXD, Altura. And then we crack into the solid investments at the top of the B tier with WAGMI, Crown, Atlas. Like, I think we did a pretty good job of ranking these, to be completely honest. And I'm excited to see the comments on this video. That's all I'm going to say, because people are very tribalist when their tokens are below what they feel. But look, guys, this is my list. Like, you don't have to agree. And there's 50 tokens I'm ranking here, and there's a lot of factors, right? If we're doing, okay, look, this is like quality of gaming tokens heading into 24. But my opinion would also vary if you're talking about what could do. If we changed the S to 1000x, my list might be drastically different, right? Because a $1 billion project isn't going to do 1000x. So if this was based on upside only, the list could be completely different. So I know you all go into the comments, you'll tell me your low cap gems that you're looking at and that your favorite projects, but that's not what this is about. This is about top quality, low downside, high upside projects. And this is what I'm looking at heading into 2024. And obviously, this is only live tokens. There are no upcoming unreleased tokens here. So we did an unreleased tokens video if you want to go check that out. I'm doing spaces with them. We get hundreds on the spaces. They're one of our most loyal sponsors here. They've been a sponsor up and down throughout the entire bull and bear. And, you know, they have so many IGOs coming up. It's exciting. Storm Warfare, Anomalia, Blood Loop, Play Metados. They have Boss Fighters, Haunted Space, Space Mavericks, and then they just announced Farcana, which did a huge NFT mint. And yeah, like, if you're looking for exposure to the top ecosystem launchpad exposure out there, S-Fund is unmatched in that category, in my opinion. So check out all the sponsors, Seedify, Ridotto, and more down below in the description. And let's just say I'll be lingering on the YouTube Studio app to watch these comments on this video. So guys, like the video and subscribe, and I'll be back with another one. As always, play well, my friends.